Achtung Millwall supports the Lions Food Hub, and all of our advertising revenues will be donated to support this fantastic initiative. It's now based at the Lions Centre on Bolina Road, and it's run by our own Kelly Webster. This is a friendly food bank supporting families in the Bermondsey and SE16 area. If you can help support the Lions Food Hub in any way, please visit @Lions Food Hub on Twitter or get in touch with us at Achtung Millwall. The Lions Food Hub. Come on, you Lions.
You're listening to Achtung Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
Welcome one and all, welcome to Achtung Millwall. My name is Nick Hart. We're just sitting in a cloudy but warm den pre-kick-off. I believe I just heard Mr. Byford now announce a 15-minute delay to the game versus Blackburn Rovers, which is a suitably chaotic start to the season. Dear listeners, welcome back after 500 plus days. Welcome back to our spiritual home. Just watching a little awards ceremony for Karen Wilson, who I think is she's a secretary, I think, at the training grounds. Wife of, I believe she's wife of Dean Wilson. I haven't dropped anyone in it. I think she's part of the Wilson family, sponsors of the clubs. John Belson just out on the pitch. He's due to give a speech of some sort. And Colin Sayer there. He's on the club staff too. I can't remember what he does. Apologies to Colin, but he's getting a long service award, both he and Karen, from the EFL. Round of applause for John Belson, one of the best, if not the best club chairman, certainly in my time, since 1972. Having looked a little bit into club history, probably historically too. Millwall club chairman are traditionally not well-loved figures, but I think John is, and that in itself is a very unusual achievement. So well done, John Belson. Your Lions team, dear listeners, unchanged from the QPR game. Bielkowski, McNamara, Murray Wallace holds his place in defence. Cooper returns. Looks like Hutchinson is out today for some reason. Keefton Belt, Jed Wallace, Scott Malone, Jules Saville, Benny Kafobe, Daniel Ballard and George Evans. So it looks like Hutch is out. Cooper comes in his place. I feel a bit rusty, dear listeners. Long while since I've sat in the stadium. 540 odd days. I did do some notes for the show and they haven't downloaded onto my phone. Rather like the club with Harry's Bar being closed. And just the kind of 15-minute delay now to kick off. It all feels a little bit chaotic. So I will edit it to make myself sound the most articulate pundit and voice at Millwall, as you would expect. But at the moment, it feels a bit stumbly to be back in doing this live business. So I'm hoping it will start to flow as the game's along. So for the moment, we're going to wait for half an hour longer than I expected to. So we'll be back in a while. Apparently the reason for the match delay is a broken down train at New Cross Gate. Our own Skalak, Mike Hayden, was stuck on said train and is very grateful for the extra 15 minutes needed to get him down to South Bermondsey. I feel a bit nervous, dear listeners. I'm sitting there, I've got a bottle of water by my side, a little gulp of that. I feel really dry and I suppose 540 odd days since I walked away from that Bristol game all those months ago. Long time, isn't it? Probably the longest enforced break as against unenforced, where you kind of life has taken you away from the den for a while, but it's certainly the longest enforced break of my Millwall supporting career. 50 years this season. We're waiting at the moment. It's a beautiful sunny day now. The cloud has parted. It's lost that muggy kind of heavy thing to be direct sunshine on the pitch, which looks beautiful, incidentally. It was relayed during the course of the summertime. It looks like a billiard table out there. For the younger listeners might wonder what billiards are. It was like an old-fashioned form of snooker with only 3 balls, one which had there were 2 white ones, one with a black dot on it. My grandfather used to play billiards and it was always ranked it was a better game, a bit like people who like test match cricket reckon it's better than 2020 or 100 cricket, you know. Anyway, we're waiting for John Belson to come out at 3 o'clock. Atmosphere is building, as you can hear. I've got out of the habit of speaking to myself in the football stadium, dear listeners. I've got out of the habit, or forgot what it is to be stared at as you talk into a microphone. People weighing up whether you're old Bill or, you know, member of the Ceausescu Stasi or something. John Belson coming out now, dear listeners. Well deserving of a round of applause. You can hear the acclaim. Very, very well thought of course. 15 minutes before kick-off, I hasten to add, we're still waiting for people to get in the ground. Big atmosphere. Missed this. We've missed this. John's waiting for it to quieten down. He might wait a while.
Thank you, everyone. Boy, am I glad to see all of you back here. I know everybody suspects it's for financial reasons, but the real truth is, boy, did we miss you last year, because our 12th man is better than anybody else's 12th man. And playing without you in the crowds took away from our players. Our players are energized by you, and even last year they said it wasn't the same. And it just wasn't the same. The lack of energy, the dent wasn't a fortress, as we all know. Away, home, it didn't make a difference. So you all being here now is going to be a support factor for this team.
The words are going down well with the crowd.
I'm very excited about this year. I obviously like our manager quite a bit. I like our coaches. I like the team. It's a very together team. And we've worked very hard to put together.
I think the crowd have had enough now.
That enjoys being together. We have had great luck in putting together this team. Bart is, I'm sure you know, has signed on and continues to continue. So he's had 2 straight years of service.
Bart Bielkowski, of course, signing a new contract during the week.
So welcome back, everybody. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to see everybody.
That's it. Crowd loving the occasion.
I've been in this country for 18 months or so, and I didn't get to see a game last year except streaming.
What's going on?
The first 45 games.
I thought he was reeling it in.
The team, I also played back in the 46th game against Coventry. So we have our 12th man back. So thank you all very, very, very much.
There we are. Very nice speech by Jen there. I was watching, those of you who know me, know I'm a bit of a fan of US baseball, and they had a special game based around the film of Dreams. Really nicely done, if you like, but very over-the-top Americana. The players all came out of a cornfield in some fun baseball. Anyway, my point being, I've always been struck by how American sports mythologise their occasions. They're very good at it in a way that we're not. But I do like what the club have been doing recently with some of these videos. They're just showing the goal from last week with a bit of soundtrack you can hear. Really good stuff. I think it's I'm admiring it, dear listeners.
Achtung, Millwall.
Here come the teams, dear listeners. Millwall in their dark blue new kit for the season, dark blue shirts, white shorts, dark blue stockings. Blackburn Rovers, not Blackburn United, Blackburn Rovers in all yellow. Same colour as Scott Malone's haircut, peroxide. In the starting lineup. Big day for Bennett. It'd be nice to see him get that piano off his back, get a goal. He had a good chance in the week against Portsmouth. I saw on the highlights reel. I didn't get down there for that one, but it'd be great to see him get that Steinway off his back and get a goal. That's what it's all about. The full-blooded day in full cry. Listen, watching the Brentford-Arsenal game last night on Sky, they played the whole of Hey Jude, not just the chorus part. The Brentford fans sang along to the whole song, not just this bit. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm going to say it's bad, but I don't have any good reason for it. No applause for the COVID victims, not the COVID itself. Applause for the COVID victims, both sets of players and fans. Minutes applause. Looks like Blackburn has won the toss, will kick off. Perhaps they've lost the toss, they will kick off. They will kick off either way round. Ah, the good old knee. The good old knee. Always controversial. Matchday squads this year are back to the conventional 18-man matchday squad. I think 3 substitutes I was reading last night. Long ball forwards from the Lions there, finds a Blackburn. It's going to be a throw into the Lions, just in line with the edge of the penalty area. George Evans is a long throw man. Brentford made Arsenal pay with a long throw last night. It's good to see. I love a long throw, don't you, dear listener? I love it. It's gone short. Jed, back to Evans. Can he get the cross in? He can. Into Jake's head. It trickles past the right-hand post on 58 seconds. These are the days we've missed, dear listeners. All those long Saturdays with nothing going on, or you're watching kick out, punted right back to the goalkeeper, who bats it down. I think that was Jed, caught it on the volley. Very inventive. 3 minutes in. Spectacular moment, but I think the goalkeeper was equal to it. Well, he was equal to it, I don't think, I just saw it. Another diagonal ball, finds Danny Mack on the right side. Coming at the right, he's got Jed overlapping. Jed doing his twist and turning. On the right hand side, he's got a ball into the box, it runs across the 6. Oh! I thought for one moment the two had put it into his own net. He's put it behind the corner. 4 minutes. Left-sided corner. Early promise from the Lions. As we started last week at Loftus Road with an intensity and an aggression. Not quite as manic so far, just 4 or 5 minutes in. A little bit of jiggery-pokery in the 6-yard box. The referee's gone over a quiet word in the ear of one or two players there. It's really crowded 6-yard box. That is as crowded a spot as I've ever seen. There must be fully 10 players in one spot. They're going to split now. It's going to be angled in. Whoa! Over the bar from Jake Cooper. That was a set piece I haven't seen before. It really was tightly packed in that 6-yard box. There was no social distancing in there and no masks. Jake Cooper rising like a salmon to head just over. 5 minutes in. There's an old favourite. I like that. That's an old school 70s song. I like that one. That's like hearing Chirpy Chirpy Cheep Cheep by Middle of the Road on the radio. Yeah, that's a familiar one. I like that one. You dirty northern bastards. Good stuff. East Upper. And a town full of nonsense. Always another classic. Modern classic. Modern classic. It's a bit like I was listening to a band called Green Leaf. Very much based on Black Sabbath sound, but you know, no, it's not a criticism. Very similar to Black Sabbath, really good. If you're going to base yourself on something like Town Full of Nonsense, you're going to base it on a classic. Blackburn deliberately taking their time. I think they're trying to kill off the crowd as a factor, bore them into submission. They're all playing the ball out from the back, Barcelona style, or the old Barcelona before they went skint. Had to sell their jewel, Lionel. This is Jake, ball forwards, trying to find Benicophobe. Just goes over his head through to the orange-clad goalkeeper. It's like a same colour as an old orange opal fruit in goal. Talking on Aaron's show about Fred over at Luton these days. Scored a goal for him the other night, and Jed was saying pound for pound, he was one of the best and most physical players he's played against. This is a 9 on the break forwards. Basically saying it didn't work out for him. His face didn't fit, or whatever way you want to put it, at Millwall. Bennett runs straight into trouble on the halfway line as the Lions look to break away. But yeah, that's high praise. You know, Jed was saying how highly he was rated. Moved to Luton, scored a goal from the other night, and will almost certainly come back to haunt us. You can bet your bottom dollar on it, can't you? All knocking it around with aplomb at the back. This is Ballard on the right side of defence, retaining possession. 11 minutes in. Languid style. Ball punted diagonally across the Mill half. It's going to be George Evans to clear towards Jed. Takes his man on. He turns him inside out on the right side. Jed, 13 minutes. Ball is deflected for a right-sided corner. Nice work, Jed Wallace. 13 minutes. Are we going to see the same routine? We're going to pack that 6-yard box again. It really is densely packed in and around the goalkeeper. I've not seen this before. It's the second time we've used this technique in the game. It's going to come in now from the left. It's swung in. Ball into the mix. It's cleared. Could go anywhere. Ball goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Ticking towards 18 minutes, dear listeners. Neither side really threatening so far. Mill having more of the ball, clearly, but not doing anything with it in the business end of the pitch. Just going to run through for a goal kick. And Blackburn really the same. Probably I haven't got the percentages. Who cares about percentages? But I don't. I think Mill had most of the ball. Applause. So there's some deft work in midfield there. This is Danny Mack on the right side, finding George Evans. We was saying in our preview show, I think Michael was saying how, or was it Harry? He doesn't do enough for him. But he does do. He's a kind of a utility, tidying up kind of player, George Evans, without being spectacular. Hopeful punt over his own head from defence for the Blackburn defender there. falls to Jed. Oh, he gets clipped. That's got to be a free kick. We're just about to break past the 2. I would expect that to be a yellow. Whether the referee gives a yellow or not, I don't know. It's going to be a Millwall free kick on the just outside the left side of the penalty area. Shot territory. I think Jed fancies it, dear listener. Almost fell into kind of like a Kenneth Williams. Oh, he fancies that, doesn't he? Ooh, yes. Frankie Howard. Frankie Howard-esque. Ticking towards 20 minutes. And Jed fancies this. I think Scott Malone fancies it as well. They both fancy it. I think Jed's going to claim superiority in danger position. If he gets it on target, the goalkeeper's got work to do. 22, 23 yards. Or is it going to be Scott Malone? He's shaping up as though he fancies it. It's going to be Jed. He takes. It's drilled straight into the yellow wall. This is Keefton Belt. Ball's spun across, it fizzes across to Jed in the end on the edge of the boundary. His shot is high and wide. 21 minutes, dear listeners. Bit of possession for Blackburn coming forward. This is a 10 on the right side. He's twisting and turning, trying to build space for a shot. It's a 27 on the right now. The 2. 25 minutes in. First spell of real dangerous looking possession. That is a nice tackle there by Murray Wallace, just to kill that little moment off. Flags flying in the breeze on the Docker stand opposite. 2 line flags and the flag of St George in the middle. Canary Wharf off in the distance. Beautiful day. Malone does well there. Does some really good defending there by Scott Malone. Sees it through for a goal kick. 30 minutes in, dear listeners. 30 minutes. There's a spider in a web. I know the bird guano has gone, but there is quite an extensive spider's web right by I'm standing, with what looks like it's a dead spider, but it looks like something out of the Alien. Every time I think my elbow just flicked the web, but it hasn't reacted. But it looks like something out of a horror movie, you know, crinkled up. Jed's chasing the ball down there on the right side, does really well to get the ball. This is Danny Mack, George Evans, sorry. Tried to feed it to Danny Mack, overhit, and gives Blackburn a chance to break away. Coming towards 31 minutes. Looks like an H.R. Geiger scene. The bird shit's gone, but it's been replaced by the alien in its nest. Fantastic to talk to Kelly Webster before the game today of the Lions Food Hub. As you know, our revenues support the Lions Food Hub and will continue to do so across the whole season. So just had a quick look in the, she's got like a container set up in there, like a little miniature shop almost, that's how it works. Really good to see her. She's doing some fantastic work. She's assisting up to 20 odd local families at the moment. More money she gets, the more she can help support local kids and families in need. We're very proud to support them. At the moment, we're not really finding our forward men with any great clinical kind of forensic. Was it forensic the right word? Any forensic balls? I'm going to stick with it. It sounds good. Even if it's wrong, I'm sticking with it. Yeah, interesting show with Aaron. The 72 is on BBC Sounds. You can probably find it on other platforms, but certainly it's on the BBC Sounds platform. Very good show. I was listening to it driving over today. I'm going to finish off listening to it on the way home after football. After work. Me? Huh. In comes a corner from the right. It's deep. It's Giles. Jake just heads wide. Close range. Murray Wallace, sorry, I think that was, not Jake. Big thank you, as I'm back at the game now, it feels a bit more like we're back. Just want to say thank you to everyone for the kind wishes. I was deluged with kind wishes when I had my bit of trouble. That's 2 months ago now. I'm on the road to recovery, in the balance in the moment, but touch and go, but I made it. Dealt with by the superb cardio unit at St Bart's Hospital, to whom I, along with my wife and the ambulance service, I owe my life. Really, really fantastic. The messages I got from Hoff, Twitter, people sending messages privately, you know, WhatsApp, all sorts. Really, really made a difference. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. I am on the mend. I'm still here. And it is my intention to continue to be here for as long as I possibly can be. I'm on a drugs cocktail, so I don't know if I'm rambling and I'm talking any, you know, particularly psychedelic kind of imagery, then blame it on the drugs cocktails that I'm taking at the moment. But no, on the mend. Thank you all very, very much. It really meant a lot. It was appreciated. Little long ball forwards, just breaking down a little bit. It comes through to Benicophobe on the right side now. He's got the ball at his feet. It just runs across the centre of the pitch. Does find Michael Avery belt. Evans to Saville, who feeds Danny Mack on the right. Ball into the box. That's not past the first man. And Blackburn will bring away. Nice tackle by Keith. You can hear the roar of the crowd when Keith goes in there. Nice work by Jed just to get the ball back there. He gets pushed off. That's going to go for a goal kick. They are responding to the energy and responding to the effort. That's what they want to see. That's what we've been missing. All those endless, dreary, endless games on iFollow that we had to endure. I think by the end of last season, I was about the only bloke watching it. I don't know how much money the club would have made from it, but certainly my tenner was probably the only £10 they made in that game at Coventry last season. But it's fantastic to be back in the open air, in the fresh air, sunshine, roar of the crowd, some familiar faces around. Back to normal, back to Millwall. And there's Ballard. 38 and a half minutes, ball's in towards Bennick. It trickles across to Scott Malone, who finds Savile's shot is blocked. Awkward chance. It was on target, the block for a corner on the left-hand side, then listeners. Mill cranking it up again. Need to make some of this pressure pay. The set piece is slightly deeper now. You've got Benicophobe and George Evans and Saville in the 6-yard box. Jake and Murray and Daniel Ballard more conventionally on the edge by the D from this left-sided corner. It's swung in, the man went tumbling there. Nothing given. Mill do keep possession now. This is Scott Malone, 39 minutes on the clock. Just trying to work it at 1-2 with Keith. It's just gone slightly awry, but Benicophobe does well there to get the ball back in. The 22 blocks Malone. Phobe get clipped there by that's Brereton. That's the Blackburn Chilean who made his name in the Copa America. He wants to be in America. Free kick Millwall. Scott Malone on the left side, just about 5 yards short of the penalty line. Big chance, left side. 40 minutes on the clock. Another set piece move. Mill bunching on the edge of the outside edge of the penalty area. Phobe's in the 6-yard box. It's chipped into the box. That's headed over by Ballard. 40 and a half minutes gone. Millwall will be disappointed to leave the field not in front, I feel. We've had plenty of possession. We've had more opportunities to get the ball in the danger zones. They've not really threatened much themselves. And you've just kind of got that sense if we don't get a goal that we leave ourselves exposed to the counter punch. Millwall still in possession. 42, coming towards 43 minutes. It's Ballard. He's got Phobe on his right side. He does a good job of getting past his man. He cuts back in. Gets sharp. That's got to be a free kick. Well, the linesman gives nothing. He'll be taking some much missed stick over on that Docker stand side. Rightly so, in my opinion. That looked a pretty clear push from where I'm standing. Well, you can hear it. You can draw your own conclusions, dear listeners, can't you? There's the half. Millwall 0, Blackburn 0. A lot of pressure for Millwall, a lot of possession. Not as much anywhere near it for Blackburn. I would say that, as I said earlier on, we will feel disappointed with the amount of possession we had. Not to get a goal, or one or two. Up front, Bennick's not really in the game. I think I'm going to be looking for more from Bennick in the second half, and also from Jules Saville in midfield. But there we are at the half. It's Millwall 0, Blackburn 0. I'm going to have a gulp of water.
Achtung, Millwall.
Struggling to get any 3G signal in here, dear listeners, so I can't tell you any Twitter commentary. I do have a WhatsApp from Doug out there in Sweden. Big shout out to Doug, and I think he captures it quite nicely, to be honest, at half time. Cooper had a couple of chances from the corners, but he wouldn't call the game exciting. Row at football, says Doug. To make it worse, his iFollow is not working, so he's got it on IPTV, but it's the Ferret Warriors commentary. I think that sums it up quite nicely, Doug. Nothing really to lift the spirits. Let's hope we get some more action in that second half, because possession, but nothing really in front of goal, be my assessment. One other message on Twitter from Henshaw. The ref's a cunt. Quelle surprise, says Henshaw. Very well put, Henshaw. Given us nothing in the first half. He's given some really bizarre decisions, but then what's new, dear listeners? So it's going to be the Lions to kick us off for the second half. No substitutions, as far as I can tell, despite the online calls for Ryan Leonard to come in. He was warming up at the subs, but he's not out there at the moment. George Evans will kick us off for the second half. Away we go. Lions will be attacking the Coldblow Lane end in the second period, in accordance with English law since the time of the ancient Bede, the venerable Bede, writing in Jarrow Monastery. It's one of the first verses he wrote down, that Mill should always attack the home end in the second half. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, kind of like a giveaway newspaper of the time. Ballard looks very assured on the ball. Ballard is less fired up, more thoughtful this week than he was last week at Queen's Park Rangers. It's good to see. Brereton copping a little bit of an earful. Going to be a left-sided corner on 48.5 minutes for Blackburn. You've got to be careful. We've had the bulk of the possession in that first half without any real chances, and this is the kind of classic sucker punch territory, isn't it? Left-sided corner, it swings, Bart bats it away. Jake misses it, it's bat into the side netting. Moment's hesitation there from Jake Cooper. He kind of missed his mark completely as the ball came in, but it does hit the side netting and goes safely. Mill need a spark. It's 49 minutes coming up, and we've just looked a little bit kind of unimaginative at times. I'd like to see Leonard come in, and of course there's always the ace in the hole of Matt Smith, but we do tend to go a bit long bally when Matt's in the game. It's Blackburn coming forwards here. It's going to run through to Bart Bielkowski. Blackburn possession again, coming into Mill half. This is 22. He goes tumbling through, looking for the decision there. Penalty possibly. Gets nothing. Referee is a laissez-faire, follower of the laissez-faire school of economics. Let it flow, let it be. Let it boy boogie woogie, as ZZ Top say on Fandango. 51 minutes. Crowd trying to lift the Lions. It's a little bit of a lull, on-pitch lull. Bennick does well to win the ball on the left side. He gets clattered. The crowd howling for a card there. He should get it. He did really well to win the ball there, but was held back by the Blackburn defender. Mill free kick on the left side. Noise levels raising. You can hear it. This is what was missing from all those iFollow games, all those endless, dreary, quiet games. This, Mill in the lull. They get lifted by the crowd. Free kick chance on the left side now. It's going to be Scott Malone to take. 52 minutes ticking to Wolves. Scott Malone on the left, about to take the free kick. Here we go. It's floated into, it's headed clear by the 22 after all that. Jed does keep possession, he punts it back into the middle. Jake's in the mix there, it's bouncing around, it runs out to Benikafobe. 63 minutes, Ballard. Long, lovely diagonal ball. Beautiful, that's caught on the volley by wonderful move! Wonderful stuff! Oh, calm down! Got fucking heart condition! Great ball forwards from Daniel Ballard, caught on the volley on the cross by Scott Malone from the left, slammed home by Jed Wallace, lurking with intent at the far right post. 1-0 Millwall! Nice move. Wait till you see that on the replays. Really nice move. Concentration needed in Millwall. We've got ourselves in front. Let's keep ourselves in front. That should run through to Bart. Ballard looks a very, very good player, dear listeners. Really accomplished defender. I know he's only young, maybe he's got elements of the game still to learn, but he looks very, very elegant on the ball. Big boy as well, big boy, but elegant with it. That was a goal to lift the spirits. That's made that long 540-day wait worthwhile. Kid's next to me going mad. He's doing a mental. Nice little 1-2. It's Danny Mack. Keeps the ball inside the penalty area. He's near post. Cleared somehow. Ball's bouncing around inside the Blackburn penalty area. Shot from George Evans. Calls for a penalty, not given. It's fired at the player rather. I mean, referee's giving benefit of the doubt there. There's the 22 on the halfway line. Good tackle by Danny Mack. That's got the base livened up. Everyone was falling into a stupor of dullness, but not now. Murray Wallace sticking with Brereton there. Going forward slightly, the ball into the mix. It's going to be edge of the mill penalty. There's Danny Mack. Blackburn do keep possession. Edge of the mill penalty area, 74 minutes. As at where I look. The 27. Surrounded by blue shirts. Referee gives a free kick. Another chance for him to float the ball into the mill danger area from the right side of the penalty area, as we ticked all 75 minutes. We all need to be on their guard, dear listeners, on guard. And it comes, near ball, one each, headed in the side of the 6-yard box, headed into the bottom left corner, gutting. I need to see it again, poor defensive work to be beaten inside your own 6-yard box. By a header will take you to that point, but without seeing it again, I'm just going to stick that out there at the moment, dear listeners. 1-1. Game's in the balance. I suppose Blackburn will feel that they've done enough in the second half to warrant a point, but it's still in the balance. 76 minutes now. Both teams will want to press on and get something more out of this game. Look, the Lions certainly will feel that they should have done better if it stays like this, or worse. Substitution here is Leonard. Coming for Saville. Looks like Matt Smith's coming in as well. I'd imagine Bennett, Afobe. 80 minutes both. People starting to stream for the exits. A kind of a kindly wanker sign made in the way to the away end. No real force or venom behind it. It was just like an offhand wanker, you know. There is Millwall 1, Blackburn 1. Sense of disappointment, to be honest, having got ourselves in front with so much possession over the game. Blackburn will feel they'll feel happy with a point, I think, to having clawed their way back into it. Poor defence to concede the equaliser. Nice goal from Millwall to take the lead, but I do have that sense of disappointment that we've given that away. But there we are. Lovely to be back here at the Den. Sunshine's beautiful. We're going to be back after the break, I hope, speaking with Ryan Loftus.
Achtung, Millwall.
Well, hello, dear listeners. I unfortunately missed the start of the game with other commitments that unfortunately got booked in before the fixture list was released, but I made it for the second half. Good feel in the stadium. That's one of the first things I'll take. Fantastic seeing home fans back and people who I haven't seen for a long time, and it was just nice to catch up with them. So from what I was told, the first half weren't too bad. We were the better side and everything that goes with it. But what happened in the second half, it was frustrating, wasn't it? It really was. And I have to say the goal was superb, really well taken by Millwall. What was it? 3 passes up to Malone with that ball across, and Wallace from nowhere was absolutely incredible. But it's really weird, isn't it? We're only 2 games into the season, but it's starting to feel a little bit already like same old Millwall. You know, Afobe again, not really getting the service he wanted. And the only 2 times he looked really dangerous was when he was given the correct service to feet. I think he won a free kick at one point, and another time he ran with the ball and done well with it. So it shows if you play to his strengths and you do what you actually brought him in to do, he does do it well. Jed again was really enthusiastic. I thought Malone looked okay, and again defensively we were solid. But it's just frustrating because we take free kicks and corners, they don't even beat the first man. Blackburn take one, they score from it, and it was just such a soft goal to concede. Another thing as well, Gary Rowett, the sort of master tactician who was brought in after Neil Harris, and people were really screaming his plaudits, myself included, about how great he was. You know, they're the same subs. They're the same subs against QPR. Brought on far too late. Some players, even from the second half, you could think, why were you playing as long as you did? And again, Matt Smith was brought on, won a few headers, didn't really do a lot else. Again, you don't want to be too negative. We've been away from football for 18 months. It's been an awful time. Some sad things have happened in everyone's lives. But, you know, there's some normality back. We want to play the game again. But come on, Gary. We need a better plan B than bringing Matt Smith on for the last 10 minutes, especially when you're playing against a team next Tuesday who absolutely wallops a team 5-1 away. I'm optimistic. Great to have the fans back, as always. Come on, you Lions.
Sherry Skalak here from London Bridge Station, heading back to the grassy, greeny suburbia of the home counties. Trying to sober up before I see the missus. I promised I wouldn't drink too much, but we're not all saints, listeners. We're not all saints. Fucking frustrated and disappointed on today. I really thought, following that promising kind of QPR performance, we'd have a go today, and we just didn't. I think players-wise, on paper, we've got a decent side, but there's such negative tactics. And it's like going back to the Harris era where Rowett is almost scared to lose. And I think that's the disappointing thing. And he just didn't change the formation at all. Evans was just being played completely out of position. He's not a box-to-box midfielder. And it limited Saville's game as well, because Saville had to keep sort of drifting wide to try and get the ball. And, you know, Evans, if he's going to play, he's got to play defensive midfield in Kifton Bell's space. But I think Keith has actually played well in the first 2 games. He's got some legs. I don't think Evans has got those legs. And, you know, credit to the likes of Afobe, worked his arse off today, but he's not getting the service. He's got to come wide to try and get the ball. we're so over-reliant on either Scott Malone or Jed Wallace to try and create something, and surprise to surprise, the goal we do score is a superb cross from Scott Malone and put in from Jed Wallace, and we undeservedly led the game, and it was just the way the game was going that we conceded an absolute shit goal like that. All in all, it's just, you want to... The first game back at the Den, nearly a full crowd. You want to be entertained. Even if we'd have lost fucking 2-1 today, we'd have given it some. I wouldn't be so disappointed, but I just think the drab nature of it all makes you kind of think, like, what have I missed in the last year and a half? I'm not sure. So frustrating game all round, to be honest. I expected more. I wanted to win today. We didn't show enough. We weren't good enough. And I think it comes down to Gary Rowett today. I think he made mistakes with substitutions and with the general tactics. But anyway, we got Fulham on Tuesday. We're either going to get turned over big time, or they'll come at us a bit and play into our hands. So we will see. But anyway, we're unbeaten. That's the only good thing. Come on, you Lions.
Achtung, Millwall.
Big welcome back on the show. First time for a long while, actually. It's Ryan Loftus. Welcome back, Ryan. How you doing, mate?
Good evening. I'm very well, sir. I'm a tricky one to track down, but hopefully worth it when you do get me.
You're the Scarlet Pimpernel of South Bermondsey, seeking here and there and everywhere. We were just talking off air, Ryan. I mean, I don't know how you feel after today's game. Some 1-1 draws feel like wins and some feel like losses, and this one felt like a loss to me. And I'm wondering, asking myself whether I'm being a little bit, kind of a case of the over expectation. But I thought we let those 3 points were let away today. We gave them up.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I imagine most people listening to this will completely agree, and I think that is, bang on as an assessment. I think Rowett agreed after the game as well. It's really a game. I mean, like you say, the whole pomp and ceremony before the kick-off, the excitement of having everyone back in.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was only about just under 13,000 there today, but it definitely felt a lot more than that. And to dominate the game how we did, obviously not creating massive amounts, but really on top for the whole proceedings, and to come away with a draw is just something I think Millwall fans are used to by now, of letting that lead slip. Happened last week, happens this week. I think if you're not putting a tenner on a 1-1 draw before Millwall kick off, I think you're giving away some money there.
Yeah, we're going to draw our way to avoid relegation and maybe mid-table respectability again, judging by much of today's performance. I mean, I don't want to sound downbeat, Ryan, because there was a lot of good stuff in today's performance, but it's a little bit like Gary Rowett said last week after the QPR draw, which is us not killing games off when we've got the bulk of the possession. We are on top, largely speaking. The first half, I'm thinking back, we should have come in at half time at least one up, with the amount of ball and the amount of times we had the football popping around in that 6-yard box from corners and whatnot. But to come in level is a flaw in the game. It needs to be addressed quite quickly, because otherwise we're going to get back into this draw cycle that's let us down previously, or it's not taken us to where we want to be. It's probably a better way to put it.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because I think Rowett said, I think after all 3 games this season, Cup included, that we don't kill off games like we should, like you're saying, on top against QPR and let that slip, and again here, and okay, we got the win against Portsmouth in the Cup, but they came close towards the end, and Rowett said it's about killing off those games and then just manage them out, and we seem to struggle to do that. So I think what frustrates fans most is that, like we say, it is almost predictable at this stage when you're 1-0 up at Millwall. I mean, the amount of games last season and the season before where we are 1-0 up and we do just let it slip to especially today, which is a really soft goal to give away.
Very.
Blackburn have had 2 shots all game. One off target into that side netting after Bart dropped it. Yeah. And then the goal.
I mean, I don't know if you picked up on. I mean, Hutch is. I presume he was injured. I haven't seen or picked up on anything as to why he wasn't in the team. I can only guess injury. But it's it was a soft goal last week at QPR, really, with the amount of space given to a decent strike at the end of it. But that was a lot of time and space given to the QPR defender to run forwards. And today, as you say, I mean, we're being beaten to headers inside our own 6-yard box, which is kind of unforgivable for a defence that's built on aerial power. And Early days, and we mustn't get ourselves too despondent, because it's 2 draws can be seen as 2, but both were draws from winning positions, and I think that's just starting to niggle a little bit. That we've seen this before, and we don't want to see it anymore, do we?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I think, with fans being away, you do want to get off to a flying start, and I think today, especially the goal, the QPR one, yeah, you can blame the defence a bit for that, but today it's just so basic. It's just poor marking at a free kick. I think Verity gets in between McNamara and Kieftenbeld, who both had pretty decent games, and it's just that lapse of concentration where in the Championship it kills you. And when Millwall aren't not really doing enough, it's as much as it is 2 points dropped, you also come away thinking, did we do enough to win that game? I mean, even our goal, we had 15 shots, but only a couple of them on target, and only Jed Wallace's goal really was the big chance we had. So it was taken well, but it seems to be the similar issues they had last season, where lacking a bit of creativity, lacking a bit of level-headedness at times, and maybe Hutch was a miss for that. Obviously you've got Murray Wallace playing in the centre of the 3, and Jake Cooper still kind of fighting his way back from an injury. But I thought they all had pretty decent games and weren't really near the goal when it went in.
No, decent, 95% decent performance in defence. And I'd say probably that the midfield is a very good defensive performance from the midfield. But we're looking to push forwards, Ryan. And I mean, you can talk about selection. I mean, keep this midfield: Dave Evans, Kieftenbeld, and George Saville. I think I know that Saville is maybe, I don't know if he's how match sharp he is. He didn't look on it today to me, 1 or 2 moments, but not the George Saville that we were hoping for yet. And Evans, I think, is a good kind of containment player, but he's not going to go forward and create those moments that lift the spirit, like the goal, because I mean that was a really good goal and it got you out of your seat, but we need to do that more often across the 90, don't we?
Yes, exactly that. I think starting with Kieftenbeld and Evans is a pretty defensive setup, and you can obviously see Kieftenbeld kind of screening in front of the back 4. Yeah. And Saville, I hoped for a bit more from him. I think at the end of the first half, he had that moment, his shot blocked, and that is what he can give you, where he does just pop up the edge of the box, like we all remember a couple of seasons ago when he was doing that. And I don't think he is fully there yet. And also just blending into a new team, it takes a bit of time. I think you see the same with Afobe. He's just finding his feet a bit. But at the same time, you maybe Evans, I think Evans had a good game in terms of what he's there to do. But like you say, at times you just need a bit more than that. And you think, can we go a bit more attacking? We finished the game with no real attacking changes at all. I know Leonard's slightly more attacking than Evans, or came on for Saville. But, the subs in the last 10 minutes at a game where we're all over them really, or on top at least, and drawing. Mm-hmm. And it did concern me, when the subs came on, that our plan B is still to throw Matt Smith on up top, and I'm sure he'll get a goal. But it just doesn't look like the depth. I know Mason Bennett's out injured, so maybe he would be a bit of a miss, but it's very much one track mind at the moment for Mill, when there's not much we can do to seem to change a game like that, which is always a little bit concerning.
Very. I mean, I thought, I'm just looking at the substitutes bench. We did see Ryan Leonard. I thought he might have come on earlier, possibly for George Evans, or to some extent, take your pick. I mean, Tom Bradshaw, I wouldn't have thought so. But Conor Mahoney, the great enigma, the man that is like the Picasso that can never be bothered to pick up his crayons and have a go. I would have thought today would be exactly the kind of game where a man with skill that can dribble and attack and take on defenders would have been a choice. I mean, how would you have changed it? What choices would you have made? I mean, I suppose even Billy Mitch.
I think exactly that. I think Mitchell or Leonard maybe on for. I mean, at the moment, I guess if you're managing minutes, maybe Saville does have to come off just for fitness reasons. The game on Tuesday, so
we do.
For Saville or Evans, I think Leonard coming on a bit earlier, and then rather than Mitchell coming on as well, you put maybe Mahoney on, put him into 10. I mean, realistically, he's one of the best crossers at the club, and so having Matt Smith on the pitch kind of lends itself to getting Mahoney on the pitch. And we've seen in hot flashes he can change a game, and he can have that lovely bit of skill, and he has a bit of history with Blackburn, and
Yeah.
You think sometimes that, it's a bit made for him. So I wonder how long he will be sitting on the bench and not getting minutes before he starts getting frustrated and becoming that enigmatic winger that Yuri Skalak turned into. I hope he go down that route. I would like to see him on the pitch a little bit more at the moment, and with not playing wingers anymore, I think he's going to see his chances limited a bit more this season.
I like my enigmas to be brilliant geniuses that smoulder and come in and, it's through sheer venom change the games. That's the kind of enigma that I like, not Jiri Skalak that, lurk and don't ever do anything. But anyway, that's a different subject. I really, really like the boy Ballard in defence. I thought he played well today. He seemed to be more controlled than he was at the mayhem of QPR last week. He shows a lot of promise. Obviously, Hutchinson, Cooper, Ballard looks like the preferred back three in this formation.
Yeah,
with Wallace as a kind of polyfiller kind of step in where required. Danny Mack played well today, I thought as well. Right.
Yeah, I thought he looked bright. I think on Ballard, I think he had a really, really good game. He's for a 21-year-old. I spoke to him in the week, so hopefully have some of that out next week for people to read about. But he seems really level-headed, and he turned down the chance to go back to Blackpool.
Did he?
To play higher up effectively. He didn't want to be in a potential relegation battle, so he wanted to get a team challenge at the top. And today, he looked very mature, very good in the air. Obviously, he's a big lad anyway, but really, really comfortable on his feet. And I think what we're going to see, unfortunately, in the first two games, we haven't had that first choice back three. But I think what you'll see is Hutchinson obviously move into the middle. And then with Ballard and Cooper on the outsides of that back three, we're going to be a lot better building out from the back. Obviously, Hutchinson's a little bit of a liability with his feet. He's not bad, but, someone better like Ballard can, the switch for Malone's goal, he's played that to have that as an option. And I think that really is why McNamara stood out a bit as well. So, having that link up right from the back where you've got Cooper and Malone who link up well, to have Ballard and McNamara being able to build that as well. Yeah. Make it just a bit more threatening and hopefully we'll blossom through the season and lead to goals from both sides of the pitch, really.
Early days, but we're going to face top of the table Fulham on Tuesday night after two games. I do appreciate, dear listeners, but nevertheless, there they are, Fulham top at the moment after two games, 4 points. Today's opponents, Blackburn, were tenaciously defensive. I'd expect a more open game against Fulham. I wonder what the selection will be for Tuesday. I would have thought, after seeing what we saw today, Ryan, that Ryan Leonard would be, and Billy Mitchell possibly, would be disappointed not to be featuring in the starting 11. George Evans, I don't know. Must be his position. If you're going to change things, I was thinking Evans for Leonard perhaps today, and I would think that would be in the manager's mind possibly to start on Tuesday night.
I'm not. It's a hard one because obviously it's going to be a game where you imagine we won't have much possession, and we'll be looking to hit on the break. So I think Leonard does do that well, but you'll also at the same time think, this is quite a conservative midfield that Rowett likes. But 3 games in, I think you do have to change it around a bit just to see who kind of grabs the shirt. And I know you would have covered it pre-season. The number of central midfielders we've got now, I think it'd be a bit bold to kind of state your claim for the 3 that are starting today. I think obviously Saville was the kind of marquee signings, pretty much nailed on, but there's got to be room for Mitchell and Leonard in this squad, and how well Leonard was playing last year before he got injured. I think I definitely have him coming in over Evans for now. But it's a test. I think on Tuesday it's a
big test. Yeah,
and I think potential to go 3 games into the season without a league win before going away to Cardiff. So Millwall they'll be itching to get a win and to upset one of the bigger teams, one of the teams favoured for promotion, is hopefully with the sort of game that they take their chances in.
Yeah, because otherwise it becomes a piano on your back. And I think I'd also throw in Benikofobo. I really like the look of, but he could do with a goal. And he wants it. He was interacting with the Coldblow Lane end today, trying to get him fired up. He looks like a Millwall player, properly Millwall player, but it's just getting that first goal, getting that first win, getting the the kind of wind in our sails. Tuesday night's a good be a tough challenge, but it'll be a good night to start it off. Just on a wider level, before I let you go, it was both. It was a bit like coming back off of holiday. You know, when you come back to your house, when you come home after being away for a couple of weeks, and it's both familiar and strange all at once. It was a bit like that today, coming to the football, because obviously I've been to the Den many times, but it was the first time for a year and a half. There was a slightly creaky feeling. I mean, even it wasn't the club's fault about a kickoff being delayed by 15 minutes, but there was a typically Millwall slight kind of air of controlled chaos, wasn't there? I mean, Harry's bar was shut because there was no staff, and it was good to be back, but it was also good. It was familiar, and yet all the things that you've maybe moaned about sometimes were still there. You know,
for you, I guess it's like coming back to your house after holiday, but someone's tidied up a bit. I think with your.
They've jetted the bird shit away.
Exactly. Well, I think delaying the kickoff was quite a good move actually, and I don't know if it was the club who called it or someone else to do it, but because obviously it meant some fans, obviously our own Michael Hayden may have missed kickoff, so pushing it back a little bit did well to make sure everyone was in.
But it turned out to be a broken down train, didn't it, at New Cross Gate? Yeah. So I suppose you've got how many on a train? 1,000 people on the train, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
bulk of them coming to the ground.
I think home and away fans might have had a bit difficult with it, but I thought JB's speech before the game was good. It was good to see him.
Yeah.
And Rowett mentioned a couple of times now how kind of frustrating he's found it having to watch from iFollow. So I think it's good to he gets his round of applause and kind of appreciation from the fans, and
he got a very good reception, Ryan. I thought very good.
And I think
nice
it's just a shame that we didn't round it off with a win, but it's what it is, and I think we might be in for one of those seasons with Millwall if they don't turn a corner soon, not necessarily turn a corner, but figure out how to break teams down.
We need to start getting some goals, so then the goals will probably be spread around that was not far short of your first choice 11, maybe one or two. You might Evans possibly, maybe Murray Wallace, but. I think the goals need to be spread around because there is no marquee goal scorer other than Matt Smith, and he's only going to come on for cameo appearances at the end of towards the end of the game for the most part. Yeah. I just want to mention before we go, what a great goal it was! What a really nice move. That was a long ball from Ballard, who we've mentioned, and a cross in from Malone on the left, wasn't it? And tucked away by Jed Wallace. It was a real. I mean, to go ahead with that was a real uplifting moment for me after that year and a half of absence. It just took me out of my seat.
Yeah, I was starting to worry that we might be seeing a goalless draw, which would be a real letdown, I think.
Typically Millwall.
Yeah, exactly. So to get a goal, and like you say, it was a really fantastic goal. I think the ball across from Ballard was brilliant, and first time with Malone. And how many times have you seen the Den someone just balloon that off their foot? But a really, really well controlled cross. And for a minute, I thought maybe Wallace had stuck it wide or the keeper had kept it out, but it didn't take long to erupt, and absolutely brilliant feeling. And I mean, Jed Wallace is 2-2 is just already on fire. Looks great actually playing through the middle. And I've really noticed, under Rowett, I think a few seasons ago you'd probably say Jed Wallace's finishing was one of the weakest aspects of his game. He missing one-on-ones, but now I think you see him warming up and you see him during games and he just tucks them away. Yeah. And he is some player, and it's just going to be massive this year, and hopefully not this year isn't the last one we have of him.
Let's hope not. Now you're covering the club for London. Is it London News Online?
London Football Scene. Yeah.
London Football Scene. Sorry. So you'll be putting your updates on Twitter, which we will retweet, of course. So do keep tabs on Ryan's coverage of the club for the season. Back there on Tuesday night. I'll be there. You going to be there on Tuesday night, Ron?
Of course, I'll be
covering it for London Football Scene. Of course.
There we go. I'll be in the grounds. Yeah, hopefully have a report. But hopefully trying to get some more exclusives from the club this year. So
great stuff.
Like I say, interview with Daniel Ballard coming up that people can hopefully read in the middle of next week, and then plenty more to come through the season.
Brilliant stuff. I'm going to let you go, Ryan. Thank you for taking time out your evening, Saturday night. And we'll be talking through the season. So big thank you, Ryan Loftus. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you for listening to Achtung Millwall. If you enjoyed the show, please head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a cheeky little review. Arrivederci Millwall. Till next time.
Who do you want to watch?